Welcome to another chicken side chat. We got the chickens are, man, they're up and at 'em today. Let's see what time is it. 8:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. They're up and at 'em. They're moving. They better be making some eggs. We don't have enough nesting boxes, and what we have is kind of in shambles right now. And the chickens, they're hiding eggs. I don't know where they're putting them, but we got like 20 chickens, and we're not getting enough eggs. Although it's been chilly, maybe they reduced their production due to the chilliness. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about tipping culture in the Philippines. There really isn't one. It's growing, but it's nothing like what you're used to. You're not going to go to an automated machine and place your order and then have a spot on the receipt for a tip when you didn't even talk to a human. You're not going to experience that here. But that opens the door for appreciating when you do get good service and just going above and beyond. So, for example, in the restaurant, there's not going to be a spot for the tip on the receipt typically. They give you the total, you give them your card, and they swipe it right there at the table, and that's a done deal. And you don't really put your tip in with the credit card receipt because they don't really handle that the same way in the U.S. If you're going to leave a tip, you leave cash at the restaurant. And a lot of times, if you're not sure, ask them if the manager gets the tips, because a lot of times the manager gets the tips, and what you're trying to tip, people don't even get. So there's a lot of that going on. There just isn't the type of employee protections that you would expect. So I'm not saying that's all over the place and rampant. I'm just saying just ask. If you ask, they'll tell you. Like, hey, do you get the tips, or does it go to your manager? And if they say it goes to your manager, be like, all right, well, I'm not going to tip, and they don't care. The money goes to their boss anyway, so you're not going to hurt their feelings any on that. But I like to appreciate when they go above and beyond. So there's been several instances, and I can give a quick story on that, where I got some help from the guys. One time my battery went dead in my car. The battery was weak even when I bought the car. It was a 2010 Toyota Innova, which is it's a diesel Toyota Hilux chassis that they put a SUV body on. So it's a 7-passenger barely, but it's got rear air conditioning. That was what I was going for, because it's too damn hot here. I wanted some rear air con for my rear seat passengers, and I wanted the versatility of being able to carry building materials and other stuff. Anyways, that battery was weak when we bought the car, and eventually it just got to where it couldn't crank it over. So that led to extra load on the alternator, which the alternator died soon after, but that's beside the point. So I'm out and about, turn off the car, and it won't turn back on. Just dead battery. Okay, so I was in an area that was populated. It was the town center, basically, of Magalang, where I live. And so I walked over to the tricycle stand, which was 100 feet away. And tricycle guys, they saw my hood up, and they knew what was going on. So they said, hey, you got dead battery? I said, yeah. Do you know of a spot where I can get a new battery? And they pointed to the spot, and they said, no problem. And I said, do you you guys have a wrench I can get the old battery off? And they said, yep, no problem. They gave me a wrench, so I borrowed their wrench, walked back to the car, took the battery out, and then the tricycle guy met me at the car a few minutes later and picked me up with the battery and took me just a little bit down the way. It would be further than you'd want to walk with a heavy battery. It wasn't far, but it was far enough. You could manage. I mean, I'm not gonna die carrying a battery, but you know how that is. It wasn't fun. And so they picked me up, and the one guy picked me up and took me to the battery shop. I got a replacement battery, turned in the old battery, and he waited for that transaction to happen. Took me back to the car. I used the wrench, hooked the battery up, and it was good to go. So I took the wrench back, and I surveyed the scene. There was about 5 tricycle guys there, and not all of them helped, but they're all there. So I went inside. There was a convenience store there. I went inside and I got 6 of these. These are 350 milliliter Emperador Light, and this is what the guys like to drink. This costs 65 pesos or thereabouts. And so I got 5 of them, one for each of the tricycle guys, for thanking them for assisting me. Everybody was all smiles. They appreciated it. I appreciated it. Everybody was good to go. I paid them for the tricycle ride down to the battery, so it's not like I got something for nothing out of the deal. But they helped me out. They gave me information. They let me use a wrench. They turned a situation that I would have had to walk down the street or figure it out or whatever. They just helped me out. So what'd that cost me? $5. Didn't cost me anything, and I appreciated their assistance. And I could have given them the cash, but what's better than cash? A gift, and a gift of booze. The boys all want the booze. So that's one example. Another is I've got an aircon guy here today. He's gonna clean all of my mini splits. I've got 5 mini split air conditioners in the house, and about every 6 months you want to get those cleaned for best results. So it's been about 6 to 8 months since I've gotten them cleaned, and he's gonna clean them for 900 pesos each. And I'm assuming that he's going to do a good job. And when he does, look, he's got a zero overhead word of mouth business. He shows up with a ladder on a tricycle and his wife in tow for them to tag team this. So it's all labor, it's all profit for him. He's using no products really. He's got a pressure washer, but this is all profit business for him. So I'm going to pay him what he's asking, and I'll throw him a booze bottle or two, and we'll call it good. So that's just a little tip for you on tipping culture in the Philippines. Enjoy it. It's not ever present like it is probably where you're from. It's nice here. You actually tip because you want to tip, not because you feel obligated. And there's a lot of times where I don't give a tip. The situation didn't warrant it, so I don't give it. I'm not obligated, and I don't have to, and I don't. So that's nice. So these chickens are fired up today. So that's what we're doing. A little gift goes a long way. And come Christmas time, I stock up on these, and anybody that comes around, or just the local tricycle drivers, they're usually lined up hanging out, waiting for a fare. Christmas time, I'll go around and hand those out. And last Christmas was pretty cool. My wife put together about 150 goodie bags of candy, and the kid and I drove around on the tricycle and handed that out to the kids, and we had the perfect amount. We handed out about that many. The kid he got a couple extra, but we handed out about that many to the local kids. So that was pretty awesome, and that goes a long way too. And just fostering goodwill, getting your name out there. Not that I got my name out there, but they know who I am, and it's just not a bad thing. And I try to tell them don't throw the trash on the ground, but of course they're throwing the trash on the ground. But that's a side story, so I'm working on that with them. But next year I'll do better I'll bring a trash can with me and encourage them to not throw it on the ground and put it in the trash can. But anyways, that's a work in progress. But just be present in your environment, and you don't have to be Daddy Warbucks giving out money. You can give out little booze bottles or whatever you choose to do, little candies or whatever. I don't got people coming to me looking for loans necessarily, but and that's okay. I don't want them knowing that I'm down the street, easily accessible, and I got a bunch of money. I don't throw money around. I don't get crazy. I look like a bum most of the time, shorts and t-shirt, and that's on purpose. I'm comfortable in that, and I don't need to be flashy. I got nothing to prove. I don't want to make myself a target. Just keep that in mind. You don't want to be down in the center of town throwing out pesos, okay? That's just not the good thing to do. But you can throw out candy. You can hand out candy, or you can hand out booze, and they'll remember that for sure they're going to remember that. If I ever need anything from any of those guys, they're going to know exactly who I am. Not that they didn't already, but they're going to know exactly who I am, and they're going to help me if I need it, and I would do the same for them. So there's you go. That's your lecture for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one. See you around.